Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to talk about the various agricultural practices that we use during agriculture. Okay, so this is a flow chart that I want that you should concentrate on, which shows the various steps of agriculture practices. See, first step of agricultural practices is preparation of soil. What is the first step? It is preparation of soil. The soil is prepared well so that the crops can be grown properly. So what are the different things that we use in it? Leveling and ploughing. We are going to discuss in detail. Right now you focus on the steps. Then comes selection and sowing of seeds. Does all type of seeds support the growth of the crops? No. So the seeds are selected which need to be grown, means which are going to give us the harvest, a bumper harvest. Then third step is adding manures and fertilizers. When the seed has been sowed in the soil, it has been sown in the soil, then what will happen? We need to give some nutrients to it. So that will be provided in this step, adding manures and fertilizers. Then comes the next step, that is irrigation. The plants, they take in the nutrients in the soluble form. So they get dissolved in water. So we need to provide sufficient or adequate amount of water to the plants so that they can survive properly. So that is done by irrigation. After all these steps, we also need to keep an eye on the crop whether some outside agencies, organisms like pests, like insects, rodents, etc., they are not creating havoc to the plant. They are not destroying them. So for that we need to keep to this step protection of crops. Okay. Then comes harvesting. After the crops have grown, they have matured, their duration of maturity is over. Now they are ready to be ripened. So they need to be cut. And that is done during harvesting. Okay, so harvesting is the next step. And the last step, when the harvesting has been done, the grains are ready to be stored somewhere or to be sold to the market. So over there they are stored. So storage of grains is the last thing that we need to keep in mind. Where, how to keep the grains? We have to keep them in open, we have to keep them airtight, we have to keep them in dark places or in large containers. All these things will come in storage of grains. So let us again see what are the different steps. First is preparation of soil, then comes selection and sowing of seeds, then come adding manure and fertilizers. The next step is irrigation, in which the water is being provided to the plants. Then comes protection of crops, then comes harvesting, and then comes storage of grains. So we are going to study about these steps one by one. Now next step of soil preparation. Soil preparation we were discussing. So soil preparation is done with the help of ploughing. And what is ploughing? The process of loosening and turning of the soil is called ploughing, or another word used for ploughing is tilling. Ploughing, P-L-O-U-G-H-I-N-G, or tilling, T-I-L-L-I-N-G. So why do we need to plough or till the land? It is because when the crop is grown, seeds are grown, when they start growing, they germinate, their roots are being spreaded into the soil. They extend into the soil and they keep on growing. So the roots, they require some space to extend themselves. So what ploughing does, it helps the roots, allows the roots to penetrate deeper into the soils. It allows the roots to penetrate deep into the soil, which will help in anchoring the plants. Anchoring means that they will be able to stand properly. Then it brings also more the space will be covered by the roots. What will happen? More the nutrients will be absorbed by the roots and will be supplied to the plant. For how long they can spread themselves? The nutrients are everywhere in the soil. So they are going to absorb, or they are going to take the nutrients from various far off places. So this is the second thing that we depend on for plowing. Then comes the air is trapped between the particles of the soil. Particles of soils are there, and in between them the air is trapped. So if we keep on plowing time to time, we keep on doing tilling work, then what will happen? The soil becomes airy, the soil becomes porous. So as a result, the roots can easily breathe also. They can exchange gases. Then next, if the soil is plowed, what will happen? The water holding capacity of the soil will become more. It is going to hold or retain maximum amount of water. So plowing helps also in retaining the moisture for longer period. Okay, so what other things happens? When the soil is turned or it is loosened, what happens? The plow will take out the inner soil and will put it in front on the upper layer. Okay, so in this way what will happen? The sun rays act as disinfectant. They act as disinfectant. As a result, the harmful microorganisms that were present in the soil, they will kill them. The sunlight is going to kill the microorganisms which are going to cause harm to the plants, so, or crops. So that is also one of the important role. So all these things helps the soil preparation, and this is being done by plowing. Now what are the tools that are required for plowing? They are plow. What is plow? Structure of plow. Okay, it has a shaft and a handle, and this is a metallic structure which is very pointed, and it will help in digging the soil. So this is how the plow works. Plow is digging the soil. As a result, the soil will become loosened. So this is one of the tool that we are using in plowing. The another tool that we use is hoe. H-O-E. H-O-E. What is it? Hoe, or it's a spade also. We call it spade also. In Hindi, what do we call it? Kassi. So it is another tool for loosening the soil or for tilling. Okay. It consists of a flat blade-like structure which is made up of iron. It is sharp from the edge, and a handle is there which is made up of wood. So the farmer holds it with the help of handle and loosen the soil wherever required. So this is for what it is done. It is used to remove the unwanted plants and to loosen the soil. Then next is cultivator. Cultivator. This is the cultivator. It is run with the help of a tractor. This cultivator, actually it's a machine, it's mechanical in nature. There are, just like the plow had a very sharp edged blade, that is there in many numbers. And so when it is run in the soil, what will happen? It is going to loosen the soil. So cultivator, it is also a type of tool which helps in loosening the soil, and these help in doing plowing or tilling of the soil. Now let us come to the next part of preparation of soil, that is leveling. After the soil has been plowed, now what do? We level the soil, because now what we have done, when the soil was being loosened, in that course of time some stones or some maybe very big crumbs of the soil, they come out. So they are going to do what? They are going to inhibit the growth of the plant. So when the leveling is done, it is done with the help of a leveler. It is a leveler. Now this leveler will help in crushing the big lumps of the soil and will bring the soil at a level. Okay, so these are the two things that helps in plowing of the method of plowing. What is one is plowing, another one is leveling, will be part of preparation of soil. Then comes the second part, selection and sowing of seeds. We are talking here about selection and sowing of seeds. What kind of seeds are required to sow and to get a bumper harvest? So for that, what is done? A good crop yield can be only produced when the seeds have been selected properly. So healthy and disease-free seeds. Healthy and disease-free seeds are selected for growing. Okay, so for this we can see one activity, how to select the healthy and good seeds. For this, what do? We take a container, we put water in it and put the seeds inside it. The seeds which are not healthy, which are not properly formed, they will float on the surface of the water, and the ones which are highly dense, they will settle down. It means the ones which are floating are not good seeds, and the ones which have sunk, they will be of good quality. So these seeds will be taken in account for growth. Now, how the sowing takes place? Seeds have been selected. Now sowing is done. How the sowing is done? Sowing is, it's a technique in which planting of seeds in the soil is done. So it is, when it is done, two things are to be kept in mind. One is that they should be at right depth. They should neither be on the surface, so that the birds can come and pick them and go away. We will keep on sitting for the plants, for the crops, but the birds have taken them, picked them from the soil. Or they should neither be so deep that they cannot emerge out of the soil. So we have to see the appropriate depth. The another fact that we have to keep in mind while growing the seeds is appropriate distance. They should neither be too close, they should neither be too far. If they are very much close, what will happen? The plants are going to compete for food, for water, for space. If they are crowded, then what will happen? They are not going to get proper nutrients, they will not get proper space, so they are going to die also. So in this way, there will be a loss. So two things that we have to keep in mind while growing the sowing seeds are right depth and appropriate distances. Now, how the sowing is done? Sowing is done by following methods. One is broadcasting or manual method. In this, what does a farmer do? He takes, as you can see here, he takes the seeds in a container and starts spreading like this. This is called broadcasting method.